Hello, everyone. Welcome to Faith and Fellowship. We're three guys based in Utah. I'm Kirk.
I'm Joel.
And I'm Lyric.
And the goal of our show is to share stories and beliefs from different people local to our area.
Our mission is to bring civil discourse and allow people who hold different faiths a platform to tell us what they believe.
The show's model consists of an interview episode and a follow-up response episode where we'll discuss the topics that were brought up with our guests in the initial interview and give our take from a biblical standpoint.
Full disclaimer, not all comments and opinions expressed by our guests represent our own opinions. Thank you guys for listening and enjoy this episode.
Welcome back to another episode of Faith and Fellowship Podcast. I'm Andrew, back for the season finale. Isn't that exciting, Joel?
So exciting. You jumped right into that intro. I'm so proud of you.
What can I say? When I commit, I commit.
Way to be assertive.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, this is our 20th episode. So,
It's kind of exciting.
Is this the right one? Yeah. I don't have them labeled.
Let's go.
20th episode, season 2 finale. Yeah.
Whoa.
This is part 2 of us kind of talking about Art City Church. If you don't know, we are a production of Art City Church. And last episode, we kind of started talking about how the church was started and what we believe and how we're different. And if you didn't hear that episode, go back.
Please.
Listen to that episode.
Backtrack.
Please.
It's like 28 minutes of episode. I actually don't know how long it is. If it's 28 minutes, I'm so proud of myself. And
Name the seconds, just to be sure. Just try the seconds.
43 seconds.
Okay.
That's what we're going with.
28 minutes and 43.
Andrew owes me $1.
Andrew.
You know what? Yes, sure. Yes, I'll bet on that.
All right. $1. A whole dollar.
$1
On a podcast.
Oh, on a Christian podcast.
A good old
He won't bet on
Washington.
that. What? Nobody's betting on. I don't know what you're talking about.
We were
Betting?
kidding. We were
Huh?
kidding.
Yeah, no, betting is bad.
Well, if you don't know, Father is here with us again.
Father,
Yes.
Pastor Kirk of our city church.
Betting is bad only if you lose.
Oh, okay.
He learned that in Vegas.
Out of his
Oh,
mouth.
my word.
And we
is so
also
terrible.
have with us Lanishal.
Hello.
Hello.
Unfortunately, this episode we do not have Lyric with us again.
So sad.
We were just talking about how we need to use these sound effects, so I'm using them.
So I think we're gonna.
So we're going to
will be-
overdo it.
We're going to
milk it for
be
everything
using
they're
them way
worth.
more in season 3. Just
Yes,
Amazing.
half of the episode will just be sound effects in season
This
3.
is just a sneak peek of what is to come.
What is to come. But hopefully, God willing, next episode, Lyric will be here. That's what we're hoping for.
That'd be nice.
That is what we're hoping
That's
for.
what we're hoping for. Guitar, riff, anything. There we go.
That's what
Lyric
we're hoping
is
for.
going to be back.
Reminds me of Duck Dynasty for some reason.
I can see that.
Okay.
It's a little weird.
Okay. I was trying to think about like a silly loose topic we could like bring up to like break the ice at the beginning, but I can't think of anything.
No,
I
please,
mean-
just let yourself loose. Like what?
No, like I was in the bathroom and I was like, oh, what can we say in this? And I'm like, I got nothing. If only I read the news today or something. We could talk about, what is it that we talk about on our first episode ever? Locusts coming to Utah and like eating all the crops.
Oh, that's nice. So like an arbitrary, just like 5-minute
Yeah,
topic
just
to get
something
somebody
like-
hooked.
My word.
We can put it in the title and just start. Oh my goodness, people are seeing this and they're like, oh, I need to listen to this podcast.
Yep.
It's exciting
I
stuff.
put it in the
over
title
here.
of the first episode when we did that.
That's
But-
nice.
There's a podcast that I don't listen to a whole lot, but I have listened to it. It's
not as good as ours, whatever it is.
well, right. I mean,
Come on.
but anyway,
We're so
I'm not even going to
narcissistic.
name the podcast. How about that?
Oh, that's
and so,
sweet.
Anonymous.
but the
Not a sponsor.
interesting thing that they're doing that I found it interesting is they're going to be talking about what a lot of people are doing in 2024 is they, along with all the other goals, one of those goals is read through the Bible in a year.
Yeah.
A lot of people do that. It's a great goal, great opportunity, great way to know the scriptures, and we're all about that. And so what they're doing is trying to do podcast, walking it through the Bible readings and pointing how the Old Testament points to Jesus.
That's nice.
That's really cool.
That is cool.
And I thought that was awesome. I'm actually considering specifically following them. And so how about we just say, like, if you're interested in that,
Yeah, I want to know.
we
what this
can give you
podcast
more
is.
information and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
Email us at J Squid. No,
Because one of
That's something we're overusing too. We're totally overusing.
just
Yeah,
a little
we
bit.
I think that's just because
Too
it's
much fun.
it was
But-
me. It's just me. Don't be trying to steal my good ideas.
My goodness, Lana.
Be original.
Be original.
Yeah, Lana. Be original. If you'd like to be original, email us at
No, I
But
actually meant to
that's
do
it.
that. I was gonna read through the Bible, like started yesterday, but I forgot about that. So many things I'm reading through
Bummer.
this year.
Now it's too late.
I
It's
know. January 2nd. I can't
You
even
cannot
start it
do
anymore.
You
Not
can't read
too
your
late.
Bible
Nope,
the rest of the
catching
year.
up.
You missed your window. You missed your window. No, but let's do that. We should have done that the first episode, but it's New Year's, right? And last episode was closer to New Year's than this episode. But any New Year's resolution-y thingies that we can share?
Resolution-y thingies.
Yeah.
My
I don't make
resolution-y
like
thingy-
resolutions necessarily. We can talk about that in a second.
Mine is to start using correct grammar, unlike resolution-y thingies.
Andrew and I were talking about ours the other day.
We are.
Stop using filler words.
Like
Filler word.
Like.
that word.
Usually, I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm
He said the
talking
word
about.
that.
That.
Like, that gets... I just said like. See, now everyone's going to be listening and correcting me now that I've
Yeah.
announced it. I don't know why I should... Why
Very
I did
unfiltered
that.
raw podcast.
That's like, yep.
But yeah, we're trying
That-
to...
that's
was
something
told-
we're gonna catch each other.
I was
on.
told I talk too much on this podcast, and but so I'm gonna not talk as much.
That's your resolution?
Yes.
All right.
Talk less.
We'll see how that goes.
I mean, that's what you wanted to do when we
Be slow
first
to
started
speak.
this podcast.
Well, then
but
but then we come on the podcast and we're like, hey, so what we're gonna do is
we're going to interview the
Interview.
pastor of Art City Church.
we don't
then we're
really
like, you
have
talk
any
too much.
agenda or topic, so let's just turn the mics on and just look at me. Pastor Kirk. And what am I supposed to do?
You got a nice face to look at. You got a
Not
face for
that
radio,
our listeners
as they
know.
say.
they
That's
got a
sweet.
face for
Condescending.
Condescending.
There's a word for you. Like
Like
condescending.
Like it's literally condescending.
Oh,
that was
my
another.
That was another one.
Literally.
Yeah. No, Father. What is your New Year's resolution? What do you have in store for
I've
this
got
year?
quite a few.
Oh, quite a few. Well, name your biggest one, the one you're most excited for, if you will.
I have some books that I'm gonna work through, and I've already started.
That's good.
That's awesome.
He was
And
so
maybe we could
excited.
even talk about some of those on the podcast. It'd be
Maybe.
fun with me.
He
Yeah,
was
next
so
time we don't
excited
have a
at
topic, we
Christmas.
can just listen to you talk about your books.
There you go.
All right.
We
Call
would just have to
Pastor
turn on the
Scholl's
mics,
table
like
topics.
literally, just turn on the mics and for like probably 2
so,
hours.
Hunger Games, am I right?
They don't understand.
Inside
that.
joke.
We could have. He could talk about Hunger Games, and that would be like 4 episodes right there.
Let's go ahead. So let me go ahead and start with this quote. No,
No,
No, it's a good
talk.
quote. It's a good quote. Name the quote. No, it's a good quote. It
I
could be
don't
a
have
good-
my book here.
You don't
and
have your book.
You
It's-
don't know it
yeah,
off the top of your head.
unfortunately.
I have my book, but it doesn't have the quote in it. Sadly.
I
That
could
is
find it probably pretty quickly, but anyway,
yeah,
to
whatever.
answer you, and then you guys, we can get with whatever we're doing on this podcast. Maybe this is what we're doing.
just talk about New Year's resolutions.
Yeah. I'm going to lose about 10 pounds.
Really?
Awesome.
Is that a? That's cool. I
Because
like
I
that.
feel a lot
So
better.
assured, I am going
I'm
to
gonna lose.
lose.
Going.
We're gonna
Pounds.
have to talk about your strategy for losing those 10 pounds, and if I can help you through that, and how much you would pay me.
Well, paying you would be zero. I'm
This-
actually paying you a lot.
By the way, let's talk about this sponsor. This episode's sponsor. It's Joel Fitness something or another.
Once he gets it up and started.
No,
you
I
have
have it. I just haven't
Put it
like
to
the
use.
business isn't out there.
Okay.
But I'm a
But the
personal
email
trainer.
address is jsquiggle.
Oh, here we go.
I'm a personal trainer, so I'm going to help Kirk lose 10 pounds. We're going to put it on my business website, and he's going to pay me.
Let's say this.
There'll be a little
I was
meter
able to
that'll be
lose
updated.
my weight before you became a personal trainer, and I'm pretty sure I can lose it.
We'll see about that. We'll see about that.
Well, I'm
see about
sensing
that.
some tension.
But if you want some
Challenge right
tips
there.
on how I lose mine so that you can then, because mine are effective.
Oh, so effective. So effective.
The fact that I'm 44 and
I mean, you have
going
lived.
on what's going on shows
Quite a
the
long
proofs in the
time.
pudding, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
he's
Did you
lived
say
longer than you
proof
ever.
on the pudding?
Did you say going on what's going on?
Wait, what?
I said
What
I'm
did we
gonna-
say?
I said I'm going to lose weight by eating pudding.
Oh, is that what you said? I got
Wait.
you.
There we go.
Nice.
You need to actually memorize those buttons
I
before
know.
you hit
We need
the
to
wrong
label
Well,
one.
I used to have them labeled. Like I'd have a piece of paper beside the buttons, and it would like say which one did what. And then I think it got thrown away after I left for
sad.
my short leave of time.
I can.
Or
All right, let's
label
give
them
our
if you want.
listeners some content.
I will label them.
So
if
let's
you
look
want.
back
That could
at
be
the
my New
website.
Year's resolution.
Theological
Okay.
content.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, website. First thing that I want to start with on the website before we get into anything else is if you go to artcity.church, and then the little drop down menu and about us. There's a couple things. Andrew and I were reading through it, and we're like, oh, we want to ask your take on why this was written this way.
Clarifying.
So I'm going to read the whole thing first, and then Andrew can ask his first question, and then I'll ask my second one.
Okay.
We are a church with a familiar structure that uses new elements of worship and ministry to reach our goal of being a church that connects. We pray that you will plug your family and friends into the ministry of our city church today.
Oh, now that I remember, Atlanta also had something to say about this. First of all,
I did?
Plugged in, plugged.
Oh, well, I just don't like that phrase plugged in. It's because mom overused it when teaching us math. Like, now how do you plug this problem into this, I don't know, word
Equation,
problem?
whatever. I don't.
And
Actually,
it kind
same,
of just
yeah.
got on my nerves. But I mean,
Plug.
yeah, that wasn't really a
Plug in.
question I had.
So my first legitimate question was, we are a church with a familiar structure, and then we'll just stop there. What familiar structure of what?
What makes the
How-
structure
Maybe this is a
familiar.
run-on sentence and I'm not catching anything, but
No, so this one's easy.
easy.
Ooh.
It's
Yeah.
also embarrassing, but
Okay. I'm
We're
glad I
getting
had
down
a
to the
question.
juicy stuff.
so this is basically filler from our IT developer. So in other words, I didn't write this.
You didn't write this?
Right?
He just put this in there. Wow. And I haven't been able to. I didn't do anything else.
I didn't know that.
So
So-
then if I can...
So
maybe
man,
should
if we
rewrite this.
had an
Maybe we should
intern
rewrite
who
this.
could do this stuff and
If
make it more
only.
personal.
Hey, I will go in and
Wishful
I'll rewrite
thinking.
this
Yeah, thank
because
you.
I actually read this and I was like, I wonder what he was thinking when he wrote this, because not that it's bad. It's just like,
No, it's bad.
The whole thing kind of seems like filler. Like it just seems
Wow.
because I was thinking new elements of worship and ministry.
It's
like
bad.
Kind of
what is
familiar.
new elements?
Are we
So-
radical? Are we a radical
Do you
church
have-
over here?
Oh, my word.
Plug in some
Got some
Pentecostal.
snakes in our church. That's where
New
you wear it.
elements.
It comes down to, and you know, the last episode we talked about how the church was started, and man, I'm just telling you, as a church planner, wearing a lot of hats, sometimes you can't do them all well, and this was one where I knew we needed a website. That's why we have a developer who's actually he all I have to do is email him. I can't do customized stuff, but I'm like, hey, I need you to do this.
Yeah.
So, you know, we added a giving app, and so people can give online. You know, we can talk about the statement of faith in just a minute, but I didn't write that. And
Oh, really?
no,
Crazy.
the statement of faith which is not as bad as this. I mean,
No.
of course I looked at it. It is the Southern Baptist statement of faith, the faith and message. So it's basically, if you're going to be part of the Southern Baptist Church, the convention, you have to at least, you don't have to say, well, this is all we believe, but you do have to say, this is what the Southern Baptist Convention, this is their faith and message. This is the Baptist. But I will say
interesting.
it's pretty standard. Now,
Yeah.
you might find churches that are going to do more and be more distinct and more detailed, but some of we were talking about last episode, the core doctrines that we believe, you're going to find them there and
Intriguing.
in some way. But instead of me having the time to write that, we just put the faith and message on there.
That's weird because I've looked at our website quite a bit, and that specific thing, what is that? It's not the statement of faith. It's
The
About Us.
yeah,
Us
the about
page.
us. I was always confused about that because I always thought that meant like the familiar structure part meant like, you know, those evangelical churches that you sometimes go to. We have the program is kind of the same, but we have new elements, exciting
We're
elements. And I was like,
exciting.
that doesn't make sense because we're in
Our pastor
LDS
gets bitten
country.
by a snake
And I mean, no, but like they're not going to know what familiar elements are
Yeah.
anyway.
And so it maybe makes a little bit more sense that
Yes.
somebody who's not doing ministry here, who I think he's in Oklahoma
Oh,
or
wow.
something.
Maybe we should rename this episode "Exposing Arts." No, I'm just kidding.
Exposing our city church.
Hey, I'm an open book. I don't care. I can tell you right now, we made mistakes.
What if I name this episode that? That's definitely
Hey,
it's definitely a clickbait title
yeah,
right there.
It's an eye catcher, that's for sure.
Then they'll get to this part in the podcast and say, "Man, I fell for it."
Sure, just throw me under the bus. That's fine, guys.
Exposing
were-
Pastor Kirk Shaw.
The first one is exposing Pastor Kurt. The second one is exposing
Exposing our city church.
If the worst thing exposure-wise that comes out of this is the about us in our website, I'm totally fine. I'm
He's
totally
like, "We made mistakes."
The
We gotta
familiar
dig deeper.
structure and new elements of worship. So then let me ask this real fast. I know the answer to this question, but our listeners may not. We didn't really talk about whether or not we identified with a denomination. And you said that what we have written for our belief statement is Southern Baptist, like the generic Southern Baptist. Would we be considered Southern Baptists? Would we identify with a denomination?
We are not Southern Baptist, but our fellowship of churches we have, including the church that we planted from, is part of the Southern Baptist Convention, but we are not. And
would we be considered non-denominational officially, technically?
I mean, if that, maybe. I mean, there's no doubt we are Baptistic, you know, and non-denominational churches get a bad rap because a lot of people say they just don't want to put Baptist in their name.
Yeah.
I would say that there's some truth to that in the fact that Baptist churches can give a bad name.
Yeah.
And we just want what we believe in, and this is a Baptist distinctive, in the autonomy of the local church. In other words, the processes, the doctrine, the polity, everything, the government, everything that's going to happen at Arch City Church is going to come from Arch City Church. Okay, it's not coming from, and let's just use two examples. We'll use the LDS Church, but we're not just going to pick on the LDS Church because it's not just the LDS Church. We could pick up Presbyterian churches, or you could do the Catholic Church. Those churches, Presbyterian churches, they have a presbytery, they have people that are over them, and you could even say Methodist churches. They may be different in the degree of autonomy that they're in, but there's a lot of influence saying, hey, this is how we're going to do it. LDS Church has zero autonomy. Whatever comes from Salt Lake City, from the prophets, is what's going to happen to the wards, right? Those bishops of those churches or wards, they don't have any, they're not going to change stuff. They're not going to do what they want to do. They're doing what's up there, right?
Yeah.
Well, the Baptist churches are naturally congregationally led. Okay, we're a church, we're a local church. Yes, we are led by pastors, but we are affirmed by the congregation. And there are different degrees when it comes to that too. Some Baptist churches say, no, we need to be elder led, just be congregational affirmed, and in fact, we're not keeping them in the dark. They need to at least have some influence on what's going on.
No, yeah, I understand.
And so you see the difference? That's what we mean by Baptist. Now, the fact that we don't have Baptist in our name has to do with the fact that we just want people to know, you know, we're a Christian church. We believe the Bible is the final authority. But me saying those two things, those are Baptist distinctives. And so we're not shying away. I had one person tell me one time when we first started the church early on, you don't have Baptist in the name. Then we come here and then we start talking to you and you're like, okay, you are Baptistic. Maybe you're misleading them and you did put Baptist on the name. I'm sorry. I mean, I just didn't really think of it that way. If you have enough knowledge to know what it is to be a Baptist, and you come in here and you're offended, that's probably more on you than it is on us. The majority of people that are coming into this church have no idea between Baptist and Presbyterian and polity. They're just looking to know Jesus.
Well, yeah, and if you think about it, like but Baptist, the whole idea of a Baptist denomination in and of itself is not a biblical. The denomination was not started in times of the Bible, right? So we say we believe the Bible, we believe sola scriptura. Well, if somebody says, "Oh, you're misleading the people, you need to put Baptist in the title," it's like, well, you know, like, did the early church put Baptist in it? Like, that's not even a biblical term. What
do you mean?
Per se.
The church.
John the Baptist. What are you talking about?
John
what are we saying?
John the Independent Fundamental Baptist.
Well, he was the one who started it.
By the way, I've actually heard that argument.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my. I'd love to hear. I feel like that would
we should
fall
get that
apart really
person on the
fast.
podcast.
Yeah, right.
And think about this. We had this small discussion personally the other day, but something that maybe we want to put down in a future episode is kind of tracing some of this. And because you want to talk about resolutions. One of my resolutions, along with some of the books, and actually the books I've gotten are going to work toward this, is I want to become a better student of church history, because I feel like we make these mistakes when we don't know church history, and I want our church to know that. And for them to know that, not only do I need to know it, it's one thing to know, it's another thing to teach and do it in a way that people can receive that, right? And so I want to do that. And so that's a goal that I have this year too, but that'd be an interesting topic for the podcast too. But
I mean, I think you can hear John the Baptist and like automatically think, oh, Baptist churches kind of originated from that. And That's a reasonable, if you don't know church history and I don't know.
Well, and don't understand basic language of the time, because
Terminology.
the
That's true.
word
That's true.
Baptist, when talking about John, literally can be translated to John the Dunker, which has nothing to do
Yeah.
with Baptists as a
He dunks people
denomination.
in the water.
Yes, like literally, he drowns.
No,
We do dunk people.
We
He
do.
baptizes them.
in a horse trough.
Yes,
if
it's
anyone's
not.
interested.
It has nothing to do with his denomination at the time. If you look at the language,
Yeah.
but
But we will say that that's part of the Bible, right? And we do continue to see the word baptize and baptism, and it's one reason why that is one distinctive of a Baptist
Yeah.
church, is that we believe that's believers' baptism by immersion.
Yeah.
And but anyway, I mean, to go back to the Southern Baptist thing, the church we planted from is Southern Baptist. The three other churches that are in our fellowship are Southern Baptist, and we're kind of looked at as the stepchild, and that's fine with me. I didn't grow up Southern Baptist. I've fellowshipped with Southern Baptist. We have Southern Baptist churches. We're open book when it comes to what we believe and why we're not. And and I'm not saying maybe in the future, I don't know, maybe we'll, maybe I don't have any plans to, but it would be something that, just like any other thing that we're going to do, we would do it as a church. And so we would introduce it to the church, and we would say, hey, what are the pros, what are the cons, and this is what we're going to try to do. We're just not doing it right now. So, but we are Baptistic in our doctrine for sure.
Cool.
Which is why I have no problem using
The
Southern Baptist Church's
Yeah.
faith and message.
in our website, that's
Right.
kind of confusing to me
hey, we'll go in and we'll change it. I'll go in and I'll change it.
because of the intern that shall not be named.
You guys have an intern?
Hey, let's not try to be like you over exaggerating. Like the whole website's like confusing.
It's not
No.
confusing.
Maybe
Yeah,
there's
just
not
that one
confusing
part.
However, I am perplexed. Looking at it now, I am not sure what is originally written by our church and
I
what
know.
is written by Mr. Oklahoma over here.
If anything, I'm more confused now.
Looking at it now, I just do not know how to differentiate the filler from the stuff that you originally wanted to be in the website. So,
Well,
this,
Well, I can tell you, if you go to the About page and the pastor, I wrote that.
I can tell. I can tell. Take that as you will, but I can tell. No, I'm just
I
saying.
take
No,
it
it's
as-
good. It's to the point.
I take
It's to
it
the point.
as
There's not a
you're
lot of
his
filler in
son.
there.
That's
Maybe.
that's what I'm taking.
Maybe I am his son.
maybe I am his son.
What about the God's greatness, God's love, and God's son little like columns under the home page? Who wrote that? Because those are really good. I read those.
Those are recommendations that I did affirm.
Okay.
Yeah, he was
Okay.
like, "What do you think about this?" And I was like, "I love it."
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's
it
good.
got to the point, and it also kind of just broke down our purpose statement.
No, yeah, it's very straightforward. I love the simplicity of it. It really just tells what you need to hear.
I mean, our mission statement, this is really what it is. I
Yeah.
mean, we have a purpose statement. People say, well, isn't a purpose statement a mission statement? Mission statement should lead to your purpose, and the mission statement is we passionately are following Jesus. And as we learn about him, we want to make him visible to our community. We want to talk to people
That's
about him
also
so
good.
that they can come and start following
Yeah.
Jesus.
I've always loved our mission statement. It's very, very cool. We have it in our bulletins every Sunday, don't we?
We open it up and we're like, oh yeah, just really
Just
just
soak it in.
Yeah, that's good. I guess now that we know that what we believe is Southern Baptist Convention, no, but like you said, like it's still something that, it's not like it was just written for us and we don't believe it. Like you saw it, you approved it. It is what we believe.
Correct. There is some things that we're not going to just have filler.
Yes.
Hey, can you
it's
just
not
throw
like
a
our what we
statement
believe.
thing
But
on
it
here?
doesn't matter what it is. Just kind of throw it in. We believe in snakes and
Oh my word.
oh my goodness. No, but like the same reason you want to make a website look pretty. I mean, it's not everything that defines us as a church, but it helps people see who we are. And
Our website is sleek. It
our
looks
website
awesome.
is awesome.
I think it looks
Artcity.church.
a lot better. And by the way, we have domain artcity.church and artcitychurch.com. So nobody can ever take that.
nice.
But we went ahead
That's
and did the .church. So the Art City stuff, that's what we wanted, and that's what we've got copyrights on and all that stuff when it comes to the website.
I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. last episode we discussed the naming of the church and how we are discussing like Hobble Creek or Hobble Creek Church and stuff like
Art
that.
City Community Church.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I like that one better.
Hobble Creek
Baptist.
I did. And when I heard that this church was using it, I was so happy that at least one church in Springville used Hobble Creek.
I think
are they
both
Hobble
of
Creek
them
Baptist?
are
Is
very
that
good.
they are?
It's such a
Yeah.
like when we do Art City Days, because our church does a booth during Art City Days. It's a very like topics come up. People will like come over like, hey, why Art City Church? Like, what are you talking about? And we're like, well, it's the name of the city.
Let me tell you.
nickname. Let me tell you something about our church.
And you know what? I haven't had a lot of people ask me that personally.
Really?
And that's
I have.
the reason.
Oh, really?
That's the reason why. People who are
Yeah.
here in Springville know. the
Yeah, it's
nickname
very
of this town is
community-based.
Well,
Art
yeah,
City.
the
I
people
love it.
that ask have no clue. Like,
They're
they're not from
visiting or
around
something.
here.
Right.
Yeah, the one
Yeah.
dude I remember this last Art City Days. For those of you that don't know, Art City Days is a big festival in the summer that Springville
does.
throws on. But this guy asked, "Why Art City Church? Do you worship art?" And he was so proud of himself for being all funny. I'm like, "Yeah, we just bow down to art and." like,
Nope.
Oh my God.
No.
Art
Let's
City
say a
Church.
genuine question from someone. I mean, that's
Yeah, it's such a, like,
cynical.
small-
No, because they
like-
don't really know. And when you tell them, like, well, that's the nickname of the city because, like, we're famous for like our art museum and everything. And
Hey, do you
they're
know
like,
what
"Oh,
kind of
that's
days these
cool."
are? Oh, it's Art City Day? Yes.
Yeah.
Do you know why it's Art City Day? It's because they worship art here. And it's a whole day of worshiping art.
Yeah.
Why the art museum is a church in and of itself.
It's
But
very
I can
beautiful
understand
against
that. But it's like you said, Lena, it came down to we want the people of Springville to know we're here. And some of the things,
like I didn't know Art City had a church. That's
some of the
interesting.
goals that I have this year that started last year, and I just want to grow deeper, is we are in communication with the city and trying to figure out, and this is another like, this is a distinctive of us being here in this particular culture. A lot of the emergency services of Springville flow through the LDS Church because there's so many, the wards are broken up and by different the demographics, the breakup of
Yeah.
the city. And so they use the wards to communicate emergency services. And so last year we went through CERT training, which is Citizens Emergency Response Team. I think it's Citizens. I can't remember, but it's
Community?
something like that.
Isn't it
Is it
community? I think
community
it's
emergency response team? And all that is like you get trained as like EMS or some of the basics. So if we ever had a huge emergency and there's not enough professionals to help, you jump in and you help. And there's a whole circuit, right? And we thought that would be cool. So we went and I got introduced to some of the leaders in the city, and that prompted a conversation that I hope to get, do a deeper conversation this year about, well, how do we serve people that aren't LDS here in the city when it comes to emergency response? And that what that did is just all of that was just, hey, we're here. We have a small community of believers that's here, but we have one,
Yeah.
right? And you've got to recognize that. And the longer we're here, the more people understand that. We're going to get more traction, and we're going to become more kind of, the roots are going to just get deeper into this culture.
It could be quite confusing and overwhelming if you're here and you're not LDS because it's such an LDS community. And
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
more
know.
than a religion. It's like the culture.
Yeah, and all you know is like, oh, there are wards here, there's a ward there, like on every block. Yeah.
Especially when you're pressured with a tragedy or something like that, and you have to get out of the house. Really, I don't know, like what's some of the
That's-
stuff that they
that's
do
good.
over at the wards that help the community in like times
Well,
of
I can give you one example. I mean, well, we know that it's not just LDS Church that provides emergency services.
Yeah.
We support a local food pantry that is ran by nonprofits that aren't connected to the LDS Church. There may be LDS members that work it, but it's not organized or run by the LDS. The LDS Church has their own like food pantry. Now, the majority of them, they just serve the LDS members. And so that would be one example. The other one that how it works here is like every year, or it might be more than that, but there are these cards that they pass out in red. We learned this at CERT. It's kind of triage type of medical triage kind of a thing. Like if you're going to go and assess a community and you just had this huge earthquake or whatever tragedy, you go in and you recognize somebody's, everybody in here's dead or whatever. They had these signs that would show that. So if it's black, okay, we got deaths here. If it's red, it's an emergency. You need to stop here and work because somebody's life is in danger. And then or it's yellow, okay, somebody's hurt, but they don't really need the emergency. You can pass them on or maybe go give them a word of encouragement. Green, hey, everything's good here. Well, that same method is used for houses. And so if we ever had anything, they have these signs. Well, that's ran all through the ward. Right. So it's our ward were like handed those things out to us and then they'll come around and look at it. And because they know we're part of a ward, it doesn't matter if we're LDS or not, we're part of that ward. Yeah. That's the example of what's going on. And we just started these conversations about because by the way, I mean, there was a article that came out, and I think I shared this with you guys. This was a mainstream news organization that said it's now kind of official that the LDS Church is not the majority anymore in Utah. And we know that's not necessarily true in Utah County, right?
Utah County's different.
We know the percentages, but the point is still there. There's more and more people leaving the church, and there's more and more migrants, California, other West Coast states that are coming to Utah that aren't LDS. And so as that's coming, this is the conversation I had with the city official. As that's continuing to happen, and she wanted to have the conversation with me to get ideas. How do we serve the community more and better, and the fact that we're going to become more diverse?
That's good.
That's good.
The melting pot of Utah. No, I'm joking.
So...
Well, yeah. A couple things on the website I want to highlight before we wrap up here. And as I do this, if Pastor Kirk Scholl of Art City Church has any comments, feel free to interrupt me. But if you want to give us a visit, if you're in the area, we randomly popped up on your Spotify or your YouTube and you're listening and you hear about our church. If you want to give us a visit, feel free to come on over. If you go to our website, we do have a Connect card under the Learn More tab, and that will just give us a way to contact you and kind of get to know you a little bit. And you have any questions, you can get in touch with us there. If you need prayer, we have a prayer card on our website as well. You just fill it out and it gives us an opportunity to pray for you, completely anonymous. We just it's all relational, like we talked about in the first episode. We're not trying to, this podcast isn't so that we can reach millions, it's just reach the local community and disciple our church. So yeah, please feel free to reach out. Feel free to reach out to the church at our email or the podcast at the podcast email, both of which will be in the link below.
Because Joel hasn't memorized it.
I mean, I could probably look it up, and I think I know the podcast podcast email, but I don't want to say it in case I'm wrong.
If you guys don't have anything else, one thing that we do is ask like our guest speaker what their favorite passage in the Bible or something is. I know, but we haven't done it for Andrew, have we?
No,
Andrew,
we have not.
have we asked you
your
favorite
Before we do that, there is one more aspect of the website that we talked about talking about.
Okay. That we talked about talking about. In the first episode, we talked a little bit about the differences between us and the LDS Church, even though they try and blur those lines. Some of the biggest differences that we do stand on is on our website. If you go to the drop-down menu and go to, it's just labeled gospel videos. We have 3 videos on there, just kind of talk about some of the main differences. And I guess I can read the titles of them now, but the first one is the LDS Church believes God is an exalted man. The fall of man was a good thing is the second one. And the LDS teaches the restored gospel is something that they stand on. That if the videos will go into detail and some of the reasons why we're different, but feel free to check those out too. And if you have questions on them, email Lana.
Yeah, and one of the things that hopefully we can get done in this 3rd season of the podcast is, we would like to get if people from the LDS religion are willing to come on and talk about these things. And so just saying, we don't want to misrepresent anybody.
Yeah.
But when we're saying these are the things that they believe, this is us doing our own research and having conversations with the LDS people. And this goes back to, we talked about in the first episode of this, the church planning here and how it could be difficult is we have to be distinct. We have to be very intentional to say, what we believe. It's fine. You can believe whatever you want to believe. That's not just an American thing. We believe the soul was created by God, and that faith is something that is individually, personally free. It's free. Your soul, you're free to believe whatever you want to do. Believe that. Mm-hmm. But understand that even though we may use the same language, Jesus, salvation, grace, that doesn't mean that we believe the same thing about
that they mean the same thing.
Right. And so if we've misrepresented anything here, we welcome you not to email us, to let us know, and to come on the podcast and
we'll have you on.
We want to understand it better.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Andrew, do you have a favorite chapter, verse, passage in the Bible that you would like to share with the listeners?
I wish I could be as sure as some other people on this podcast when asked this question, but I'm not the best when it comes to, I guess having a favorite or like memorizing scripture in general.
Honestly,
something I want to get better at, but I am going through
New Year's resolution.
Yes, New Year's resolution. Oh my goodness.
Well, that's something we actually talked about the other day too.
It doesn't even have to be like your all-time thing, but like maybe one that's your favorite right now or that
stands out to you.
Yeah.
I've been going through Ecclesiastes a lot lately.
Okay.
And it puts something that we were preaching through before we diverted from Ecclesiastes and started 1 Peter. But I guess some of the chapters, as I'm going through it, it has a common theme of just, I'm sure, many of your sermons just cover the theme of vanity and having it be in vain a lot of the things we do as human beings. But that concept in and of itself is just really refreshing and helps me throughout my day. Just keep looking out for me and doing vain things that don't really matter, and just keeping my eyes on things that do matter, like God and sharing the gospel with others.
Of the songs that I would always think of when Dad, you would preach through Ecclesiastes, whenever I read it by myself, it was always "Turn Your Eyes Upon Jesus." That was the song.
And I thought it was cool. I thought it was cool when we were doing, and we had a little traction with this. We were asking people to give songs, secular songs, that would point toward maybe not necessarily Ecclesiastes. There are a couple that came out of the book, but just in vain, just in vain, or just the complexity of human life, whatever. That was fun. We're going to get back into that after we get done with 1 Peter. We're going to finish Ecclesiastes.
That's good. And if you want to ever judge Pastor Kirk's sermons for yourself and give them a listen, and hopefully we're not exposing them. No, we're definitely not. They're awesome. We do have them online also on our YouTube, and that our website will take you to our YouTube as well, but put them all up there.
Awesome.
Great.
Well, season 2 finale.
Woo! Oh, wait, yeah.
Yay!
So I have. So. What? I just had Lyric call me.
Oh,
really?
And I didn't answer, of course. But I'm thinking, why don't we answer and put him?
Let's call it. Let's do it.
And just see it. Yeah. Since we're going to wrap up the podcast here, what's your favorite Bible verse?
Jeez, I don't know. Got a lot. Probably Deuteronomy 25.
My word.
Can you quote that for us, please?
Well, you'll just have to read it yourself, so you'll get more of a conviction if you do it that way.
Okay. All right. Good talking to you, man.
Right. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Deuteronomy 25:11. When men fight with one another, and the wife of the one draws near to rescue her husband from the hand of him who is beating him, and puts out her hand and seizes him by the private parts, then you shall cut off her hand. Your eye shall have no pity.
Can I leave that on? Is that okay?
That's the Bible.
That's the Bible.
Hey, that one's not coming up in the Sunday school class.
No, it is not.
This is the Old Testament, the Old Law, just for clarification.
Yeah. The new law does not require that.
Jesus
Don't worry.
Changed everything. Thank God.
He always made fun because, of course, he reads from the ESV, and that's what I just read from. But he read it from the King James version because that's what the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints uses their like official version. So it says, when men strive together one another, and the wife of the one draweth near for for to deliver her husband out of the hand of him that smiteth him, and putteth forth her hand, and taketh him by the secrets.
The secrets.
He used to get really
I love
triggered
that.
by that.
Wow.
Taketh him by the secrets.
Then thou shalt cut off her hand, thine eyes shall not pity her. Gotta love that King James.
And on that note,
course
see you
that-
next week.
Right?
Thank you so much for this second season.
Thanks
way to end
thanks
it.
for joining us, and we hope you will stay with us as we are going to have an exciting third season on Faith and Fellowship. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Is there a Happy New Year song? Hey, she learned which button it was. You got to hold it down.
Oh.
That's why I was making it last really long.
I gotcha.
I wonder if we could pick up on it like looping, like after a certain amount of time. I don't know, like pick up on patterns of how much it loops. Anyway,
Maybe.
see you next week. Faith and Fellowship.
Yeah. Goodbye.
I'll play the applause sound effect.
Yes, welcome back to.
I can't believe you never did that while Joel was gone.
I was just trying to keep things going.
Every time that like you didn't, I'd be like, man, he could totally play that sound effect right now and it'd be awesome.
only one we have.
Yeah, I was thrilled about it. I was like, oh, we have a soundboard. And then we got this sad trombone.
No, Lyric's not here. Lyric's not here, guys.
And then we got this little like electric guitar riff.
Welcome back to another episode of Faith and Fellowship.
And then if I spam it, it just like
That is pretty cool.
all right, I'll be right back.
Now that Joel is gone, we can talk about him.
You didn't talk at all.
Welcome back
I
to
tried to
Faith
talk.
and Fellowship.
I don't like
We
talking.
are here with Pastor Kirk Short of Art City Church. I am Lana Short, and my brother to my left is
Andrew
Andrew
Short,
Short.
cool, cool.
And Joel is
In the
Gone.
water closet.
oh,
Using the facilities,
still
if you
recording.
will.
huh?
We're still recording.
Are we really?
Oh, well, fantastic. Hope you enjoyed the 20th episode.
We're still recording. I didn't say that in the microphone, so it didn't.
Oh, we're still
I'm sure.
This is
recording.
this is
Sure,
how we
picks you
get
up.
bloopers.
Well, don't we just enjoy bloopers so much?
I mean, I can't believe Joel did like a 20-minute blooper episode.
That was funny.
That was really funny.
Would you rather me not talk at all or just
Talk like this.
It might have been more
Rather
funny.
Periods talk.
I don't know what to talk. I feel like you talk. I feel like you talk.
What?
I'm
I
the
talked.
one
I know.
asking questions,
I know.
and she talked.
I know.
Well, what's wrong with
I
you? I
know.
talked. I mean, this is only a second episode.
You're making me out to be. I mean,
pastor?
it's about me.
American?
We don't have a guest or anything.
I know. I know.
And he's proud to be an American.
Kirk talks too much. My dad talks too much.
What? That's not what we're saying at all.
That's what I heard.
You are the one that spits the wisdom.
Spizdom.
Wisdom
Spizdom.
spitter? Spizdom?
You want some spizdom?
Well, the Bible does say be slow to speak, so.
Be slow to splizdom. Are
We
you
just
recording?
gave you the
Spoilers.
entire.
I've been recording this.
Yeah, we just gave
Good,
you
good, good,
all
good,
of your bloopers.
Oh, really?
So
Nice.
you're welcome.
I hit record like right after I stopped
Did
it
you?
because I was like, oh, we can just get whatever.
That is something I would do. Lyric would be like,
That's something I picked up
I know.
from you. I noticed that you started doing that, so I'm like, oh, that's a great idea.
Lyric's like, are you recording? I'm like, I didn't want to say yes, but I had to. I'm like, yeah.
Well, there
And
was
it
that
scared
time.
him because you were the one editing it. It was-
Yes, but there was that time. It's actually in our special blooper episode where Lyric is like, oh, we have to get that on like recording. Like he didn't know that you were recording. He's like, and you're like, no, it's a one-time thing. Like I'm not gonna tell this.
It's all raw.
It's all raw. Like I can't say it again. It'll be scripted.
Spontaneous.
So real quick,
Splizdom.
Lana, you or me should do the intro this next
I think
episode.
Andrew should.
So yeah,
Let's have Andrew do it.
I'm just gonna welcome us in. That's what I'm doing. I'm not. There's no special
Are
thing
we
to
gonna
plug
do
in
the
our
clap?
way.